You are listening to Right Off the Bus.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back for another episode of Right Off the Bus. We got episode number 48 on this Tuesday, November 22nd. Thanksgiving's coming up. Happy Thanksgiving, y'all. I'm Chandler Hutchison, your host as always, and we got a fantastic guest host. You know, maybe only the second person to ever guest host Right Off the Bus. We got Connor Howe. He's been on the show a few times before, but Connor, welcome to Right Off the Bus, man. Happy to have you. Appreciate you coming on the show this week, dude.
As always, I like to say it's a pleasure to be on this show. It's been an awesome time, and I can't believe Chandler approached me with the opportunity about a week ago, and couldn't pass up the opportunity to guest host, to be on it for a full episode, to break down sports. It's been a while. I cannot wait. I'm gonna tell you what, I'm excited for what we have in store. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. And you said it to me the other day when I asked you, man. You're like, the only thing that's better than watching sports is talking to sports, man. You know what I mean? And that's why we do it. Just come on here, chop it up for a while. It's always a good time, man. So I appreciate you coming on. And I see you repping that Ohio State. We definitely got a little Ohio State to talk about in a few minutes.
Oh, we definitely do. A couple of sports too. Football and basketball just started, so we're gonna have to dip into a little bit of both.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for it, man. But let's see, man. Number 48. We got episode 48. We got Jacob Degrom this week, man, for the Mets. I got to tell you, he did get hurt this year. He had that forearm injury, his UCL, whatever it was. But, dude, Jacob Degrom this year, absolutely ridiculous. I had to throw some of his stats up here. 15 games started, 7-2 record, 92 innings pitched, 1.08 ERA, man. In 92 innings, 1.08 ERA. That is just absolutely. He allowed 11 runs, 11 earned runs this season, man. Absolutely incredible before he got hurt.
Everything you said just jumps off the screen to me. 15 games started, 11 earned runs. It's stuff you just don't see. 92 innings over 15 games. I mean, I'm not a math whiz, but those add up to very good numbers. 11 walks in 15 games. Oh, like this is just basketball stuff.
146 strikeouts, literally 10 strikeouts. Every time he goes out, he's guaranteed 10 strikeouts. Absolutely unbelievable, man.
Oof, jeez.
But Connor, man, I am excited to get into this episode. But as always, nice little light start, man. So I'm pumped for Thanksgiving. You know, I'm going up to my girlfriend's house up in New Hampshire on Tuesday, actually, when this episode comes out. So I'm gonna get 2 Thanksgiving dinners, man, which I am very excited about. I'm gonna be living good. I might have to do a couple of extra runs next week or later this week to work some of that off. But hey, 2 Thanksgiving dinners, man. I got nothing to complain about there.
Absolutely, man. That's good to hear. I love it. I'm just sticking to the basics. I'm getting together with the fam for a nice Thanksgiving dinner. It's usually more like a lunch. We like to watch football around 1 or 2, eat some food, and we'll be home by 5 or 6 to catch the later games. And I'll probably just be hanging out with my girlfriend, eating a nice dinner with some leftovers and enjoying the last bit of football we have because we got 3 good games to watch.
We do, man, and I'm really excited to get into those later. And you know we're going to do picks for every NFL game. But first, we got to get into some headlines, Connor. So, as always, I mean, we got to start with LeBron, right? We gotta start with the clickbait here, you know? So we got to have a suspension coming up for LeBron. I mean, you see this unnecessary elbow on Isaiah Stewart. And I got to tell you, it didn't look as bad when you first see it. But then you see how much Isaiah Stewart's face is bleeding. Yeah, I was very surprised watching that video, man. Like, I didn't think that elbow, open hand, closed hand, whatever you want to call it, man. I think LeBron absolutely needs a suspension, man, because Isaiah Stewart was hot and he had every reason to be. I don't blame Isaiah Stewart at all for his behavior.
I think you got a great point. I did see the play, and you're right. The big reaction came kind of afterwards. It wasn't really the initial hit that got everyone all out of proportion. It was kind of seeing Stewart's eye blow up a little bit. And I do agree with you. I think LeBron deserves the suspension. I don't think a long one is necessary. I guess my question is this really, because I don't think Isaiah Stewart, that was a very, very questionable move on his part. I mean, he did blow up a little bit, and
Yes.
he had his teammates hold him. If you saw the whole thing, it was kind of an aftermath ordeal. It was very, very odd. He has teammates hold him back, and then he seemed like he got all calmed down. And as soon as his teammates let his guard down and they let his guard down, came charging back again.
He was waiting, bro. He was waiting.
I mean, it was very questionable move. And then he had to be held back all the way to the locker room, and then sprinted to the locker room. It was just a very weird scene, and I just think that behavior was just a little odd to me. It didn't seem calculated, but it just didn't seem normal to me.
I agree. It definitely was a little sporadic, man. But I got to tell you, after he calms down, if you're listening, I'm throwing up some air quotes, then he shoots off again to go after Braun again. I got to tell you, dude, you could not hold this man back. Isaiah Stewart was getting through his teammates. He was getting through security. And he wanted all the smoke. He looked like a DN just ripping through an offensive line, dude. I mean, he was getting after the ball one way or another. He was going after LeBron.
He could play both sports. He looked like a freak out there. I was worried because I was like, they have 3 people on him and they can't stop him. They can't.
All right, man. So in my opinion, I give a 1-game suspension to Stewart and a 2 or 3-game suspension for LeBron. Where would you go with those two?
I would go. I'll go 2 with LeBron, and I'll give Stewart 1 with a fine, because
I like that.
Yeah, you're right. I don't think you can give him the even playing field as LeBron. Can't have that.
His face was busted up, man. One way or another, he got hit pretty hard. And say what you want, man. You hit a grown man in the mouth, in the face, in the eye, you're gonna have it coming back to you. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I was criticizing behavior. At the same time, I'd be pretty hot too.
Yeah, without a doubt, man. Let's move on. Little NFL. Cortland Sutton agreeing to an extension with the Broncos this morning, Connor. 4-year deal worth up to $60 million or $60.8 million and $35 million guaranteed, according to Ian Rappaport, man. How you feeling about this extension for Cortland Sutton?
Well, first off, as always, you got to give players props. I'm happy for Sutton to get his money. He had a devastating injury in the middle of his rookie deal, and he came back this year. He's having a pretty good year, honestly. Now, so I'm happy for Sutton. Now, speaking to Denver side of it, this comes a week after they extended Tim Patrick as well for 3 years, $30 million. I don't know how much was guaranteed there, not nearly as much. But I think they're rounding out their core. I think they got their studs, their receiver. I'm just kind of wondering what their cap situation looks like after this, what they do, because you and I both know they are far from figured out at the quarterback position.
Yeah, and it's not like Jerry Jeudy's not going to be one in his contract next season or the following one, man. So that receiving room looks good, but like you said, if you got Teddy Bridgewater at quarterback, if you got Drew Lock at quarterback, not quite the answer. So definitely a lot left to be desired, in that Denver locker room. So we'll keep an eye on that, man. So moving to the MLB a little bit real quick, run through these. I'm just going to go with the MVPs, man. Shohei Ohtani, unanimous AL MVP, absolutely deserves it. Dude hits 46 home runs and goes 9-2 with a 3.2 ERA, 156 strikeouts and 130 innings, man. Ohtani, I get Vlad. I get some of the other people you could put in that conversation. I think Ohtani absolutely ran away with the AL MVP. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. There's nothing more you can say. If you paid attention to baseball, he was obviously the AL MVP, and if there was one national MVP, he was it too. That was special.
Yeah, I mean, when you bring Babe Ruth to 2021, it's kind of a big deal, guys. Ohtani is that good. Excited to see what he continues to grow into. Hopefully, him and Trout can get something going. They brought in Syndergaard. He hasn't really pitched in 2 years, but hopefully they can get the right pieces around there. And then Bryce Harper just becoming the 5th player to ever win MVP honors with 2 different teams. Won the NL MVP. 35 home runs, 84 ribbies. I mean, he had a great season too, and you can't say anything about what the Nationals did this year. They were great.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the Phillies were not.
Oh, my bad, Phillies.
No, you're good. I wasn't even gonna say it because I've seen people on ESPN do that all the time. Still, I'm was like, I get it. The colors are the same. He's still wearing the same colors. But I mean, they didn't really do anything, so I feel bad. But those are great numbers for Bryce Harper, and he's still very young. So, I mean, all the kudos to him. He definitely looks like a Hall of Fame player.
Yeah, but you forget how good this guy is. I know he's in Mike Trout's shadow a little bit just for being the same age, playing the same position, but Bryce Harper, absolutely a Hall of Fame level talent, and I'm sure he'll be there at the end of his career and at the end of that $300 whatever $million contract that the Phillies gave him. When are we going to learn 10-year deals don't work? When are teams going to learn 10-year deals don't work? You know what I mean?
They're never going to learn. They're never going to learn. I guess, the players want security. They want the big money. They want to be there for, I don't know. It's something. Maybe they'll figure out this lockout bargain that's going to happen, because I'm hearing a strike is incoming.
Yeah. We'll definitely. We actually have a listener question about that, so we'll talk about that a little later. Getting on to your Ohio State football, man. Number 2, Ohio State. I mean, beats isn't even the right word. I should have put a better verb here, but beats number 12 Michigan State 56-7. And you guys got number 6 Michigan coming up on Saturday in the Big Ten. So take it away, Mr. Ohio State.
I'll give you a verb, but it was stomp on them, because it was the first half. If you watched, it was 49-0 after the first half. And DJ Stroud, our knight in shining armor, had 6 touchdowns to 2 incompletions. I mean, it was
in the first half.
First half, right? This is kind of stuff you just. I mean, leading up to the game, everyone knew, like, their passing defense is not great. Ohio State's going to score a lot. But I gave Michigan State credit. I saw them beat Michigan. That was a very good game to watch. And I was like, Kenneth Walker's a good running back too. It was like, they're going to put up some points too. And I was kind of worried, because we just came out of a dogfight with Penn State. That was kind of the last test, I guess, because I don't count Purdue really. And then, that was huge. It was huge for them, Ohio State, to respond like that, because – and you got it up on the ticker, and I'll intro us into it right now. The game everyone waits for at the end of the year.
Yeah.
It's going to be a 10-1 Michigan Wolverines and a 10-1 Ohio State Buckeyes. And I don't need to say anything about the rivalry. All I need to say is that the last 7, or the ones I've been around for, we won. So I haven't had to worry about it. But that's not to describe Michigan. They're a good team, and Jim Harbaugh, he's a good coach. So we can't overlook them. Obviously, we have to win this game if we want to be in the playoff. The winner is basically guaranteed in the playoff.
And isn't it kind of the biggest knock on Jim Harbaugh through his Michigan career is that he's never beaten Ohio State? Isn't that the biggest blemish? Because, I mean, say what you want about rivalries in college football. That's right at the top of rivalries in college football.
It is. And that's kind of why I guess I'm not defending him. I guess I'm defending him a little bit, just because, I mean, the guy before Jim didn't really get it done either. I mean, he won sometimes, but he didn't have a positive record against us. And Jim's 0-6. They'll say you gotta win sometimes. Yeah. But it's tough. It's tough. I mean, Ohio State's a perennial top 5 program. I mean, it's Alabama and it's us in Georgia, basically. Yeah. They've been there the past couple of years.
And LSU is just on their way out, unfortunately, of that consistent top program. But
yeah, I mean, we thought Clemson was it too.
Yeah, it turns out that Dabo's not quite a great coach when you don't have Deshaun Watson or Trevor Lawrence out of quarterback. not quite the same coach when you don't have top level talent. But hey, that's a story for another day, man. Moving on in the headlines, just 2 quick soccer updates, man. Man U and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer mutually parting ways. Some more air quotes on mutually parting ways. It was time for him to go. He's spent more money than any other Premier League manager since he's been at Manchester United, and he's had the worst results out of all of them. It was time. I understand he's a legend of the club, but when you have Ronaldo and you spend $200 million in the offseason and you don't win games, it's very hard. It's very hard to support this guy. So club legend, should be remembered as the Man U super sub, but wasn't quite cut out to coach the biggest team in England. And I'm a Liverpool fan, so that hurts to say, but Man U's international, man. That is the biggest team in England. No one comes close, and they need to figure it out because they got the talent, they got the money, but unfortunately they did not have the coach to do it. And
Yeah, I'm not a big soccer guy, but that was a very good synopsis, and I love to. I can't agree more.
I
Based on
appreciate it,
what you
man.
said.
And of course, we love the MLS on this podcast. So running through real quick, MLS playoffs started. The cup has begun. Sporting Kansas City beats Vancouver 3-1. Portland beats Minnesota 3-1. And then we got NYCFC. That's always a tongue tie for me, man. Beating Atlanta 2-0. We got Philly beating Red Bull New York. So our Revs, I'll say I'm going to make you an honorary Revs fans for this episode. We're playing NYCFC. I got tickets to the Revs game, man. It's next Tuesday. Gillette's about to be popping. Best team in MLS, set the MLS points record. So we feeling good, Connor. And get this too. I was telling my boys, it's tailgate time, man, but it's not any tailgate. This is the playoffs, baby. We got to be at peak tailgate mode. We got to have the grill. We got to have the shots, the beers, the cornhole, whatever it is, man. This is playoff time, Connor. This is playoff time. We got to treat it like it.
You said number one team in MLS, most points. I'm always down for a chip, man. Let's go get it.
And this is the MLS 25th season. The Revs are 0-5 in championships. We've been to the Cup 5 times and lost all of them. So we're due, Connor. We're due.
Time to make history. Let's do it.
It is, man. So hey, let's move on to the NFL. Let's huddle up here, Connor. We're gonna go through all the Week 11 games real quick, run through them. Some we won't have much to say, but others we'll talk about a little more. I gotta say too, before we get into it, man, we're recording this before the Giants-Bucks game on Monday night, so we can't touch on that game. But in the rest of the games, in the 14 games, I was 9-5 on my Week 11 picks, which brings me up to 98-65-1. I'm counting the Lions draw. I'm counting that as a tie for me too. Okay. So
you got it.
So I'm 98-65-1. Hey, I'll take it. I'll take it. I'm picking like 60% of games right. But let's start off with that Thursday night matchup, man. My Patriots go down to Atlanta, win 25-0 in Atlanta. And I get it. There was no Calvin Ridley. I get it. There was no Cordarrelle Patterson. But you know what else? You still have Matt Ryan. You still have Kyle Pitts. You still have Russell Gage. And you couldn't put a point on the board. Connor, this Patriots defense, people are finally talking about. This is one of the 3 best defenses in football. They are flying around. They look good. And I say it week after week on this podcast, so I'm sorry to those weekly listeners. But no team gets better as the season goes than the New England Patriots. No team makes more adjustments, trains differently, practices differently as the season goes than the Patriots. And I think we're seeing that. They've won 5 in a row. They were 2-4, and they looked like a really good 2-4 team. And now 7-4, won 5 in a row, sole possession of the AFC East, man. What else can you say about Bill Belichick? Where are all the, it was Brady. It was never Belichick. Where are all those people now? Where are they at?
I'm not a big fan of the Patriots, but I feel like we have to talk at length here because this was a big coming out party for New England. If you aren't a New England Patriots fan, if you are a Patriots fan, you've been seeing this team for 10 weeks and you knew exactly what this team was and you knew the potential this team had. Even when the Bucks lost and the Cowboys lost, all that stuff, you knew this team had potential to at least make the playoffs. Now this team has a very good potential to win the division because Buffalo, we'll get to that later. But the point I'm going to make, and yes, this defense is all worlds, and something we learned in the NFL, the teams who win in these later months, it's not really because of talent. A lot of teams have talent. It's coaching. And you see it time and time again. Belichick does it every single time. He just wins these games and his teams get better and he adjusts every week. And Mac Jones is real.
Oh yeah.
Mac Jones is real. I said it after week 2 and it's killed me to say it. He looked exactly like Tom Brady did, damn near his prime when I was watching Brady growing up angrily.
Yeah.
Brady was pick him apart. He won't kill you downfield. It never really did until Moss came in the picture. But I'm going on a tangent, but basically saying that Mac Jones is not a rookie quarterback. You need to start treating him like a veteran quarterback. And the Patriots are in prime position to win the division. If you give the Patriots home games in the playoffs, forget about it. Forget about it. The only thing I worry about at that point is, again, it goes back to Mac Jones and how's he going to handle that playoff environment. But honestly, I'm not even that worried about it.
Yeah, dude, I absolutely agree with you. And, Mac does look like a vet out there. You see 19 completions in a row against Tampa Bay. You see he's throwing over 70%. He's a leader in the locker room and on the team, which I absolutely love. And they're starting to give him some more free reign. But I got to tell you, one thing is, if there's a knock on Bill Belichick, it's his drafting, right? He hasn't always hit on draft classes. He'll miss 3 drafts in a row. And, if that happens to another GM or another coach, it's a big problem. But, dude, I got to tell you, man, I forget who said it, but I was listening to ESPN and someone said the best draft pick in the NFL this year was Mac Jones. And the best free agent signing in the league was Matt Judon. And the Patriots absolutely hit in free agency and in the draft this year. Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith, Nelson Aguilar, Kendrick Bourne, they've been great. Kendrick Barmore is a game wrecker on the defensive line for New England. Ramondre Stevenson with a 4th-round pick? Are you kidding me? Damian Harris maybe shouldn't have even started this game. It could have been the Stevenson show again. So the Pats are really, really, really hitting this year, dude. And I got to tell you, if we go beat Tennessee next week, I think we might be the #1 seed in the AFC if we win that game. I think we'll have the best record, which is crazy.
The part about that is you knocked Belichick for his drafting, and I agree with you. That's probably the biggest knock. But you mentioned 3 or 4 draft picks that are making an impact today, and then you got guys like Owenu, 5th rounder last year. He's a starter. You got other guys too that are making. Duger is another good one. 2nd or 3rd rounder last year at a D2. People thought Belichick's brain fell out of his skull.
Takes a D2 safety with his 2nd-round pick. He looks amazing.
He looks amazing out there. That was my biggest takeaway from Atlanta. I was like, wow, this Duger kid's great.
Yeah, man. It has been really special. And we'll talk more about the Patriots a little bit later, but let's move on. Those Philadelphia Eagles beat the Saints 40-29. And man, Eagles sitting at 5-6. I've been really tough on the Eagles this year. I'm starting to believe in Jalen Hurts. I think I'm a big Devonta Smith guy. Dallas Goedert just got his extension. But I got to tell you, I think Jalen Hurts is a real leader in the locker room, and maybe his leadership and those intangibles can make up for a little bit of what's lacking on the field. But this guy needs an offensive line and more weapons. There's no doubt about that. But hey, man, beating those 5-4 Saints, even with Trevor Siemian out there, even with no Michael Thomas and some of the other guys they're missing, it was a good win for the Eagles.
I agree, man. I'm going to say the same thing, same reasons, except for instead of Jalen Hurts, and I do like Hurts, I'm going to give it to Sirianni. Another guy. Okay. It was a tough start. This is his first year as a coach, and this is a tough start to start out. He hasn't walked into a great situation as an organization-wise, but this team's gotten better every week, and they're going to show up offensively, and they're going to put points up on the board. And you know what? He's winning the games he should be winning at this point, so 5-6 for Philly, it's pretty good.
Yeah, that's a win for Philly as far as I'm concerned. Like you said, I'm a big let's wait and give them a year or two kind of guy. Sirianni is just getting going with this team. He doesn't even have his players in the locker room yet. He hasn't gotten to make signings and all this. And I got to tell you, Jalen Hurts, as far as I'm concerned, is a rookie quarterback. So the Eagles, for given everything we just said, I think 5-6 is pretty solid for them. Like you said, winning the games they should win. I like the way you put that. And then let's move on to your Jets, man. Dolphins go into New York and win 24-17. Somehow, Joe Flacco was not enough, Connor. Joe Flacco was not enough.
The Joe Flacco game. And the Jets are 2-8. And outside of Detroit, because Houston won, we're competing for the #2 spot in the draft. But regardless, huge stretch of games for Zach Wilson. They're coming out of injury now. He should start in the Houston game. I'm speaking on Monday, barring a setback. But man, that's all I gotta say.
That's fair. That's fair, man. It is tough to watch. And hey, as a Jets fan, I love to bully you for being a Jets and a Knicks fan. I love that you'll always let me give it to you a little bit, but you got to admit, I mean, back to Mac Jones. There are 4 quarterbacks taken ahead of Mac Jones. If we could go back and redraft today, not even when does the draft happen? April. So not even 7 months later. Is Mac Jones the number one pick? You don't take any of these guys over Mac Jones as far. You think Urban Meyer wishes he had Mac Jones right now? I know Robert Saleh does.
Uh,
I know that Matt Nagy would rather have him than Justin Fields. I really do believe that.
See, I got you. You probably have a good argument for everyone, except I would still probably take Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I think Mac's in a very good situation.
Perfect.
You have to give him that. He does look very ready. And I think he's a good argument for the 2 spot, but man, Trevor Lawrence has so much talent, and
yeah,
I think that team is coaching. That's where their pitfalls are.
Your guy, Urban Meyer.
Man.
Yeah. No, I hear you. It is tough with what the Jags got going on, but yeah, hopefully I like Zach Wilson, so I'm hoping that he can start to figure it out when he comes back and gets healthy, man, because Elijah Moore's coming into his own. You have some decent weapons, so like to see what the Jets got going on, man. But let's move on. Washington football, 27-21 over the Carolina Panthers. I got to tell you, it's a lot of fun watching Cam Newton and McCaffrey in the same backfield, but somehow Heineke goes and gets the win, man. Heineke's a legit quarterback. I like this guy a lot.
Yeah, I thought Carolina, this was going to be a cakewalk for them, but,
Me too.
Heineke showed up, and you know what? Washington's won 2 in a row now. That I think they're desperate. I was trying to see how they will respond. If they're going to throw in the towel, just tank, this year stinks, whatever. We'll throw it in the gutter, get a high draft pick, and tool it for next year. No, Heineke's still in there. Fitzpatrick is long from returning, and they're fighting.
Yeah, man, absolutely. And unfortunate that your guy, Chase Young, out for the year with an ACL. Very sad news. You're an Ohio State guy, but that D-line's still pretty scary. They still have some decent weapons. So definitely keep an eye on Washington. And one of the upsets of the week, of course, these Bills continue to disappoint. I didn't think it would happen in back-to-back weeks after that Jags loss, but Colts beat them 41-15. Allen, 2 picks in the first quarter. Jonathan Taylor, only player in NFL history with 175 rushing yards, 4 rushing touchdowns, and a receiving touchdown. 5-touchdown day for Jonathan Taylor. Are you kidding me? You watched him in the Big Ten, man. You know what this guy can do.
Oh my God. I can't believe this guy fell to the second round. This is a special running back. And man, he went through a crazy situation. Look at that old line.
Yeah.
We saw what Marlon Mack did last year. 1,000-yard rusher with that old line. And a real running back like Jonathan Taylor. Jeez.
Thank God Quentin Nelson got healthy, huh?
Yeah. This is a scary, scary team, man. And I'm worried about Buffalo because I thought they should have competed a little bit. This is a bad blowout, but this is another I talk about coming out party for New England. The Colts are reinserting themselves in the conversation again.
Yeah, no, they absolutely are. And you see a couple of guys that get back from injury. And I mean, Quentin Nelson's the best offensive lineman in football, and he returned a few weeks ago. I think you see that change in the rushing game. And if Carson Wentz can get to a Jimmy Garoppolo point, to a Mac Jones point where he throws 250 yards, 2 touchdowns, and doesn't turn the ball over, they can win almost any game they play. But can Carson Wentz just not turn the ball? Can he be Alex Smith? Can he be Jimmy Garoppolo? I don't know. Because you see that dumbass left-hand pass that he throws for a pick 6 rather than taking the 2 points. And you're like, oh, right, this is Carson Wentz, man. So it's really all on him. It really is.
You're right, man. I mean, what's the assessment on Wentz? He's amazing talent, athletic as hell, but he takes too many risks.
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree. Moving on, in Cleveland, the Browns squeak by those Detroit Lions 13-10. The Browns look absolutely terrible. Baker's fighting through a couple injuries, but these Lions, man, how many games can they lose by a field goal or 7 points? I mean, every loss feels like it's a 1-score game and they're competing, but guess what? Dan Campbell getting emotional after games doesn't let you win games, man. So they need to go out and win. I took a look at the rest of their schedule. I don't think they're going to win a game this year. I thought the best chance they had would have been against the Eagles, but I don't feel that way anymore. I feel like the Eagles are going to put up 40 on this defense, So I got to tell you, man, I don't know if the Lions can win another game. The Browns got lucky squeaking by them, man, and they're holding on for dear life trying to make a wild card spot because without Baker being healthy, no Odell, a bunch of other injuries from Chubb to Hunt, man. not looking great for the Browns.
Oh wow, man. I mean, Cleveland barely got by, and I think they're gonna have some questions to answer this offseason. And Detroit, oh, jeez. I mean, I keep thinking they're gonna get one. So I had to pull it up because I was like, they gotta get one. They're playing Chicago and Thanksgiving. They could win that game. I got Minnesota, Denver, Arizona, and Atlanta. All tough against some pretty good defenses. Wow.
Atlanta and Philly, in my opinion, are their only two chances to win games, and I don't think they win either.
They already played Philly. They got blown out.
Oh, shoot. Yeah. No, you're right. So there you go. I think it's just Atlanta they have a chance against. Man,
they should have beat Philly that week. You're right.
I saw a phenomenal meme, dude, where it was Jared Goff because he wears 16 and someone did 16 and 1 after the tie, dude, on Goff's chest. I was like, man, that they came for this, man.
Oh, damn.
Sorry to the listeners out there. I got a sinus thing going on, so I'm kind of sniffing and snotting over here. So hopefully it doesn't come through the microphone too much. But we're going to get on to the San Francisco visiting Jacksonville. Man, 30-10, absolutely dominant performance. You like seeing the Niners play well. Deebo Samuel just really has shocked me this year, really taken over that 49ers offense. He looks incredible. I don't have much to say on that matchup, Connor. I don't know if you have anything you want to throw in.
No, I think you said it well. And I like the emergence of Deebo Samuel as well. But yeah, Jacksonville stinks.
All right. And then we got the Texans surprise win over the Titans. No Henry, no Julio, AJ Brown and Tannehill can't get it done. I got to tell you, man, the Titans' 3 losses, you know who these are two, right? The Texans, your New York Jets, and the last one's the Jags. Those are their 3 losses. But then they go beat Kansas City. They go beat Buffalo, dude. They are so confusing. I love Mike Vrabel to death. Ohio State on your chest right now, man. Vrabel's my guy. Used to be my neighbor. Love this dude. But, man, they play down to their competition as much as any contender I've ever seen. It's unbelievable how inconsistent this team is.
That was my only assessment. You said it very well. They'll play up for anyone, but they will play down to their competition every time. They're one of those teams, man. And that's why I worry about them. I can never assess how well they're going to do in the playoffs. They can beat anyone on any day, but they can also lose to anyone.
Yeah. Once the playoffs come and you have Ryan Tannehill at your quarterback, I lose pretty much all faith that I had. But hey, is what it is. Let's move on. Green Bay handed only their 3rd loss of the season to the Vikings. Man, Justin Jefferson, 8 catches, 170 and a touchdown, man. Dude looked unstoppable. He's tying Randy Moss's records for 100-yard games, touchdowns, all this stuff. Great win for the Vikings. I didn't think they'd be able to pull this out, man. I really didn't. And I think this was kind of a telling loss for the Packers, man. I really like what the Vikings did winning this game.
Yeah, I mean, this was a really rough start for Green Bay, and I always thought, they'll come back. It's not much. They'll come back, and they never really, and they tied it up. But gotta give credit to Minnesota. Give credit to Minnesota, but I think Green Bay will be all right.
I agree, man. I saw a meme saying it was a video of Tom Brady like throwing a dart. It was like Kirk Cousins anytime the Vikings are 1 game under 500, man. And it was just like Tom Brady just slicing and dicing defenses, dude, because anytime they're like right at that 500 mark, Kirk is ready to get rolling, man. He's inconsistent, not quite my favorite player, but hey, he went out and got the win. Definitely a good win for Minnesota. Tyler Huntley and the Baltimore Ravens, 16-13, winning that game over the Bears, man. Justin Fields getting knocked out. You see Dalton throw that 50-yard touchdown, which was gorgeous, but Tyler Huntley goes down and scores at the end of the game, man. That was a lot of fun to watch. And, hey, man, you see his post-game press conference. He was so thankful, talking about how Lamar helped him so much. You see, it's nice to see this Ravens team win without Lamar having to throw 300 yards, rush for 100 and 3 touchdowns. You know what I mean? Like, it was good to see someone succeed on this team, not named Lamar Jackson.
I was going to say, yes, this felt right. I felt like Baltimore had to win this game with or without Lamar. Couldn't give this game up. 7-3 now. They're in a really good spot. So I love this game for Baltimore. Chicago, they got a future with Fields. Don't worry about this year.
I absolutely love Justin Fields. I thought he should have been the second quarterback taken in the draft. I never got the Zach Wilson thing, never got the Trey Lance thing. I like Justin Fields a lot. And hopefully Matt Nagy continues to let him develop and throw the ball a little more and kind of create, because Justin Fields is a special, special talent, man. Keeps coming back to Ohio State, baby. That's the way it is.
Right. Factory.
Hey, man, another former Ohio State guy, Joe Burrow. Those Bengals go get the win against the Raiders, 32-13. Very solid win for the Bengals, kind of getting them back on track because they had a couple tough losses in a row.
Yeah, they definitely did. They lost to the Jets as well, and so but they need this one. They got it 6-4. And Burrow looked good again. Kind of struggled a little bit when he was getting target happy with Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to see him come back to spreading the ball because he's got some receivers. They're a good team when he's a good quarterback.
I agree, man. And those Cardinals get a win against the Seahawks 23-13. It's been disappointing to not see Russell Wilson be able to get this offense going these last 2 weeks. But I got to tell you, I was thinking about this. Colt McCoy might be one of the few best backups in football. He's had two really solid games. He had one really bad one last week. Don't get me wrong. But he's had two really solid games coming in for Kyler Murray, man. And there's just so much talent on that Cardinals offense. It's like, how can you not succeed as a vet in this league? You have AJ Green, you have D Hop, you have James Conner, you have Rondell Moore. The list goes on and on. So I like what Colt McCoy is doing. And when you have a quarterback that can go win games as a backup, that's when you know you have some good roster building. And I mean, the fact that they're 9-2 and Colt McCoy's 2-1, that's pretty damn good on Cliff Kingsbury's part.
I've never understood why teams don't invest in the backup quarterback. Every team agrees, like, yeah, the quarterback's the most important position. And then, but what if your guy gets hurt? You need a guy to step in that's at least comparable and solid to what you have. And maybe most guys are a game manager, and that's how they succeed. And Colt McCoy, you told me Colt McCoy will go 2-1 in the 3 games he started outside Kyler Murray. What would you say? That's a win.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Hey, man. Matt Castle went 11-5 and missed the playoffs. So hey, get those wins out of your backup quarterbacks when you can, man. You got to take every little bit. All right.
That's great.
Let's move on, man. The Chiefs at home, man. Chiefs defense, man. Chris Jones and Snead and some of those guys, 19-9 over the Cowboys. So disappointing for the Cowboys after putting up 43 points in Atlanta. You thought they'd be able to torch this Chiefs defense. I was very wrong about this game. I thought the Cowboys were going to win, but my only takeaway from this game and what a lot of other people were saying is, it's not as much great Chiefs as it was bad Cowboys, but God damn, Micah Parsons, man. Does he get bumped up from the defensive rookie of the year conversation to the defensive player of the year? Because I don't know if there's anywhere on a defense that this man couldn't play. That is just he's like the Cordarrelle Patterson of defense, man. You just put him out there and let him go. He's incredible.
Guy's insane. And you're right. I was wrong on this game. I thought it was going to be Chiefs in a gunfight, but no, it was a trench battle. And Micah Parsons, I mean, it's crazy because they had an overfilled linebacker and they said, you know what? We need this guy to rush the passer because we don't have enough guys doing that. And what is he at rushing the passer? Oh, I don't know. Could be if he played all his games there, 10 to 12 sack guy, like guaranteed Pro Bowl, maybe all pro. Like this guy's incredible and he's a rookie. This is incredible. This is absolutely incredible. And the guy was jumping off the screen defensively. It's crazy.
He was, man. When you're watching the Chiefs offense and you see Mahomes, Hill, Kelsey, but you're watching a D end instead, you're locked into number 11 on defense, man. That's when you know there's a special player. When you're watching a defensive end rather than the best offensive players in the league, you know that's a special young man. You really do.
The guy was incredible. I mean, he's got incredible speed, incredible strength. The fact that he was taking on those I was gonna say old linemen tackles, the biggest of the linemen, shedding them no problem.
He's incredible, man. Quite the product out of Penn State, man. And then the last game we'll talk about, since Giants Bucks is happening tonight when we record this, we got the Steelers losing a close game, the Sunday night game to the Chargers, 41-37, man. And boy, can that Justin Herbert move, man. You don't see a lot of guys at 6'5", 6'6" moving like he did, throwing on the run. I got to tell you, I've said it on this podcast. I'm kind of falling for Justin Herbert a little bit. I'm kind of falling for the Chargers. I love Derwin James. I love some of the other offensive pieces they have. If the Chargers are on, man, they can go toe-to-toe with anyone in the league. But the problem is their wins against good teams come like this, 41-37, or they lose those really high-scoring games. If you get into a gunfight, I don't know if a second-year quarterback's quite who you need, but Chargers, another impressive win, man. Get to 6-4 and get those winning ways back, you know?
Yeah, I was worried. This game shouldn't have been really a gunfight, in my opinion. Chargers should have won more. But hey, win's a win in this league, and you got to win. And that's the bottom line. And Herbert is special. Don't get me wrong. Ben looked great, though.
Yeah, which was surprising, man. Somehow, dude cannot move. Dude cannot run a 40-yard dash, but he still is sitting in the pocket, and he's dropping dimes 30 yards down the field. It's pretty impressive.
Yep.
All right, man. I said it a couple times. No Giants and Bucks to talk about, so we're going to get on to the Week 12 picks, and real quick, Cardinals and Chiefs on bye this week. I think good time for both of them to get a bye. And I was thinking this, Connor, got to be the best week to have a bye week if you're an NFL player, man. I mean, Thanksgiving, dude, you get to eat extra. You get to chill, spend time with your family, man. I feel like if I had to choose a bye week, give me Thanksgiving, man. I don't want to play on Thanksgiving Day. I get it's a big deal. You want to go get that turkey leg for being the game MVP. But give me Thanksgiving bye week all day, man. That sounds like the perfect bye week.
Oh, yeah. All day long, dude. Every day and there and back.
All right, so let's get on to it, man. We got 3 Thanksgiving games. We're going to run through these picks quick. And Connor, I got them right here, man. We're going to write them down. We're going to let the people know your picks next week. We're going to let them know how you did, man. So let's make sure you pick well.
All right, let's get it.
We're starting off with Chicago visiting Detroit, man. I'm rocking with the Bears there for sure.
Okay, I'm going to rock the boat here and say Detroit wins their first game at home.
It's the Thanksgiving. It's the Thanksgiving love that Detroit always gets.
They're getting closer and closer. You said it earlier, and they're getting hungry. I feel like this is a perfect time.
Hey, man, I absolutely love that. Next Thanksgiving game, we got the Raiders visiting the Cowboys. How you feeling there?
Wow. This is a get back game for Dallas. They're gonna win this one. Oakland is kind of in disarray. I mean, Las Vegas.
Yeah, I agree. Bad loss last week for both of these teams, but I think the Cowboys bounce back a little bit better. It is a home game for them. Short weeks are never fun, but it's a hell of a lot better when you're at home on a short week versus on the road. Give me Dallas in that matchup. We got the Buffalo Bills visiting New Orleans, man. I think the Bills get back on track. I think the Bills, after 2 just absolutely terrible performances, no way to sugarcoat it, I think they get back. Give me the Bills beating the Saints there.
Absolutely. If the Bills won this week, I probably would have said Saints, or, it would have been a dogfight. But after that loss, no, there's definitely a get back game for Buffalo.
And then we got Bucks at Colts, man. I feel like this is a trap game. I feel like the Colts have a chance, but I watched Tom Brady for 20 years. I'm not picking against Brady, man. It's a home, or they'll be on the road in Indy. But I think the Bucks get this win. I think the Colts are firing. I know not the best rush defense in Tampa. Jonathan Taylor is going to get his, but I think Tom Brady throws 5 touchdowns on this defense.
I'm going to agree with you. I think Tampa wins this game. I think the Washington game is still in the back of Brady's head a little bit. I know everyone kind of forgot, but I think he still remembers. And Indy's been riding a high of a high. They haven't lost in a while. They think they've won 3 straight or something like that. So I think this is a bit of a letdown for them.
Do you think Brady's just going to be staring at Frank Reich, thinking about the Philly special, just thinking, I got to smoke this dude. I got to kill him.
If you think Tom Brady doesn't think about that, then you haven't watched him play.
Brady's one of the legends where you don't need to say anything to motivate him. He's going to find those motivations. That's for sure.
He's like Jordan in that sense, where it's just like one little thing and boom, he's going to remember that the whole time while he ends your life.
I love it, man. And as a Jets fan, you've seen that for a while. So let's pick your Jets. They're visiting Houston, man. Can Flacco get the win against Tyrod Taylor? This is as good of a chance they got to get a win as any.
Who is it supposed to be? Wilson.
Oh, it is? Oh, sorry, my bad.
Well, I mean, we haven't announced it yet, but supposedly he's supposed to be on track to make his return here in Houston. I don't know. I can't pick against my Jets because both these teams are terrible.
Yeah.
But if I said I was confident in my pick, I'd be lying to you because Tyrod Taylor just came back and they just beat Tennessee.
Yeah. No, I agree, man. And so you are going to stick with your Jets, though?
I'm going to stick with the Jets for the sake of this 2-8 dogfight.
Hey, man, you know what? I'm going to mess around and pick the Jets, too. Why the heck not? They're going on the road. Wilson could be back. And I got to tell you, I said it a few weeks ago. The Texans have been as dysfunctional as any franchise in American professional sports over the last couple of years, and hell, the last 20 years, if you want to go, since they came into this league, from taking David Carr with the first pick in their expansion draft to trading away Mario Williams, Jadeveon Clowney, running Andre Johnson out of town, DeAndre Hopkins, Deshaun Watson, 22 cases, man. They're as dysfunctional as ever. I somehow we get rid of Nick Caserio, our GM, and he can't do anything. They hire a 67-year-old head coach that's never been a head coach before, David Culley. I'm going to go with the Jets, man. The Texans have nothing going for them. They got Brandon Cooks. That's what they got going for them. Maybe Rex Burkhead if you want to go that far.
Because they have a plethora of running backs.
That's a long-winded way of me saying I'm going to take your New York Jets as well. Then we got Philly visiting the Meadowlands, man. Philly taking on the Giants. How you feeling there?
Wow. I mean, this looks like a trap game for Philly, but I'm going to take Philly. I think this is where they even it up 6-6.
I'm with you too. I've been low on the Eagles all year, but I think they get a win even though it's on the road against the Giants. We got the Panthers visiting the Dolphins as well. I'm going to go with the Panthers. I like the Cam and McCaffrey backfield. I like Stephon Gilmore bringing some leadership to that defense. I'm going to go with the Panthers.
It's Cam Newton starting. So in that sense, I will take the Panthers.
Yeah, man. Cam has looked good since he's been back there. It's where he belongs. We got the Titans visiting the Patriots. I'm going to let you start here.
And this is going to be a very, very good game. I'm going to take the Patriots here. I think they're the more steady, more consistent team, the more stable team. You can trust what New England's going to do. I don't know which Tennessee is going to show up.
So I got to tell you, Mina Kimes is probably my favorite ESPN personality. She's one of my favorite journalists. Absolutely love the woman. I got to tell you, she said that the Patriots have the lowest floor or the highest floor of any team, meaning they don't have the highest ceiling. They're not the Bills. They're not the Chiefs. They're not going to score 50 points and put up 500 yards, but they have the highest floor where they're going to be consistent. They're not going to make a lot of mistakes. They're not going to get penalized, and they're going to be as consistent as any team in the league. And you spoke on that. They're stable. They're consistent. And for that reason, I'm picking the Patriots. And I have picked them every single game this year. I mean, I am being biased. I picked them against the Cowboys, against the Bucks. I picked them every game, but I think they have a good chance to beat Tennessee, especially at home.
You're 7-4 then. That's not bad.
Yeah, man. And I got to tell you, we're one play away from beating the Bucks. We're one play away from beating the Cowboys. And we're one play away from beating the Dolphins on opening weekend when Damian Harris fumbles on their 7-yard line. Yep. Ooh. And Connor, we just got a live Shams tweet here, man. LeBron suspended 1 game, Isaiah Stewart 2 game suspension for their roles in the altercation. I'd like to say I'm surprised that LeBron got less games than Isaiah Stewart, but I'm not.
I was going to say, I mean, I had a feeling that was going to be somewhat of an even playing field because we know the power that Braun has.
Yeah, right.
But wow,
the powers that be.
I'm a little shocked. They gave him 2 games. They really took that outburst into consideration.
Yeah, because what LeBron did took about 10 seconds, and what Isaiah Stewart did took about 2 minutes. I understand where they're coming from. You know, I don't love it. That's right off the bus, baby. That's live breaking news. That's what we do around here, Connor.
Wow. Incredible stuff. I love it.
All right, let's get back into these picks. Both going to the Patriots there. Steelers visiting Cincinnati. I'm going with the Bengals. I think they get a big division win against the Steelers on Sunday.
Couldn't agree more. And I think they got the home field, so everything's working for them.
Falcons visiting Jacksonville, man. I don't want to pick either of these teams. Can I pick a tie?
You could.
All right, but I'm gonna go Atlanta. I'm hoping that Calvin Ridley's back, that Cordarrelle Patterson's back. Ridley was personal reasons, so he should be. I'm gonna go with the Falcons, even though it's in Jacksonville.
I'll spice it up here. I'll go with Jacksonville, but like you said, I'm not excited about either of these teams right now.
The only parts of this game I will be seeing will be on Red Zone, and I can guarantee you that because I will not be watching any of this game, man. Don't want to be near that.
I'm one of the biggest Trevor Lawrence's guy, but even that won't get me excited.
We got the Chargers visiting Denver, Connor. I'm going with Justin Herbert. I'm going with the Chargers. I think they're back on track after scoring 41 points last week.
I couldn't agree more. I think this is going to start something good for them. They'll win this game.
I like Denver, but I just don't see them scoring more than 30 points. I see the Chargers getting past that. Then we got the Rams visiting the Packers in what is absolutely the game of the week, man. I'm so excited for this. It's our 425 game. Rams headed up to Lambeau. How are we feeling?
This is a weird game. Rams are coming off a bye. They've struggled the past couple of times we've seen them play.
Yep.
Green Bay just came off a tough loss to Minnesota. In Green Bay and Lambeau, I'm going to go with Green Bay, even though Sean McVay is very good off a bye. I like Green Bay here.
You know, I was leaning Green Bay, but for the sake of some parity, man, I'm going to go with the Rams here. I'm a huge bye week guy. I think when you have the chance to get a week healthier than your competition, it makes all the difference. All those little nagging things that take 3, 4, 5 days to heal. Some guys are going to get healthy. Robert Woods is a huge, huge, huge loss for them. But having Odell get a week of practice without having to play a game and having Von Miller do the same, I think are really big. I'm going to go with the Rams, and hopefully their new additions can come in and make a big difference. I'm going to go with the Rams there. Vikings.
For that.
Yeah, right. Vikings visiting the 49ers, man. This is a game that I'm actually excited for. I think it's going to be close. I hate the Vikings. I hate Kirk Cousins. I've just never been a fan of him, but I'm going to go with the Vikings, man. The 49ers, they're not that explosive on offense when they're playing some of these good teams. Jimmy Garoppolo, much like Kirk Cousins, is never going to leave you to the promised land. But when you have Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, Conklin, Dalvin Cook, can score a lot of points. So I think the Vikings win this game something like 34-28. I see the Vikings going in and winning.
I'll go with the Niners, man. Listen, Shanahan was feeling – they weren't going to fire Shanahan because they extended him this offseason, but he was feeling the criticism. He was getting a lot of heat for what they were putting out this year, and I think he responded the last couple of weeks. He's had some pretty convincing wins, and this is in San Francisco, Candlestick Park. I think Jimmy knows his job is not threatened at least for this season. So I think this is a good game for San Francisco to get a win, get to 6-5. And you know what? A lot of people said they would finish last in this division. And it's not going to look that way after this week.
Yeah, I had the Seahawks finishing last in that division, which I feel good about. Maybe would have been different if Russ was healthy this year, man. But those Cardinals are quite incredible. But 49ers, they could get a win there. Now we got the Browns visiting Baltimore on Sunday Night Football. I'm going to go to Baltimore. I believe Lamar Jackson should be playing. So Lamar versus Baker. Give me Lamar all day, every day, and twice on Sunday.
I'm going to go with the Ravens with or without Lamar Jackson. I don't trust Cleveland with anything right now. I really don't.
Quick question, Connor. How much money has Baker Mayfield lost this season for not signing before the year for like 18, 20 a year?
What did he get offered? Because he's gonna get lowballed.
I don't know what he got offered or if they gave him an offer, but man, he wanted that Josh Allen money. He wanted 40 a year. He's not going to get 15.
The report will never come out official, but there were rumblings. He did get an offer. But yeah, it was a very team-friendly offer. I don't know if it's even touched $30 million a year.
Yeah.
So, but he's not getting 30 after this year.
No, he's not.
I'll ask you a question to counter that because it's kind of something I'm struggling with as the weeks go on. Do you think even Cleveland extends an offer?
I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't if I was Cleveland. You know why? Because Aaron Rodgers is going to be available. Because Derek Carr is going to be available. Because you can go out and sign to someone for Kirk Cousins money. Would you rather have Baker Mayfield or Derek Carr? You know what I mean? And I think if you stick 15 other quarterbacks in the league on the Browns, they're a better team. So for that reason, I think that they can go get a guy that can, come in and be in win now mode. Baker, I like him, but he films too many Hulu commercials. And I got to tell you, he's spending way too much time on other things. He's tough. He wants to play. He wants to fight through every injury, but it hasn't worked. And unfortunately, he's just not a franchise guy. It's okay to be a B plus quarterback, but you just can't win with it. You just can't win with it.
Right, man. That's so funny. You said the Hulu commercial. I see him in every single Nissan Altima Heisman commercial. Everyone, bro. They got so many variations with all the Heisman guys, but Baker's in every one.
It is funny, man. Hey, last game here, we got the Seahawks visiting Washington Football. Not quite the Monday night game we want, but who you got there, Washington or Seattle?
I'm going to go with Washington because even though it's kind of weird, I know Russ has been back the past couple games. He just hasn't really gotten himself right with this offense. But I think Washington's moving in the right direction, and they're at home too. And like I was just telling you before, they're desperate.
Yeah, no, I agree. My head is saying pick Washington, but my heart is saying Russ in prime time, man. I'm seeing like Tyler Lockett, like 6 catches, 152 touchdowns, like DK big game. I'm going to go with Russ in prime time, man. I think the prime time effect is real. Like if you put, Justin Fields in prime time, it's not going to look good. You put Russell Wilson in prime time, Aaron Rodgers, they're going to put on a show. So for that reason, I'm going to go with Seattle, I think.
Yep.
All right, Connor, we're running longer than I thought, but it's just because we're having a good time talking about all this. So we're going to cut the basketball a little short. So let's just touch on these Celtics and Knicks real quick, man. Get a little different perspective from you because you're a Knicks fan. So we're going to get into our ball don't lie, man. So why don't you talk about the Knicks real quick, man? How you feeling about the season? What are you seeing from this team? And anything you want to touch on for a minute?
Yeah, we'll do a little quick. So 17 games. So I feel like that's how much I shouldn't give it too much thought of what I see so far. We got plenty of season left, but it hasn't been great. 9-8. I expect this team to be better. Kemba, I feel like he's getting his feet wet a little bit. He's getting better as the season goes on. Fournier hasn't figured out a role yet, so we'll get to that. RJ's cold right now.
Yeah.
So, I feel like he's hot sometimes and he gets cold. Right now he's cold. And Randall's been inconsistent. It's kind of tough to watch right now because, last year we pride ourselves on defense, and we're not playing well defensively at all. Can't guard anyone from the 3-point line. And, we could score the ball, which is what we struggled with last year, but at what cost? And we lost our defense, I feel like, and we don't have that fight anymore. And so I'm worried about this team a little bit. I'm worried what the front office is going to do, if they're going to trade a piece to, get a bigger fish over here, someone that can play 2 ways a little bit. And what do you give up then? Because that bench is talented, but that's been winning us ball games. Guys like Rose, Quickly, and Burks, and you'd have to give up probably those guys or a guy like Barrett to get a stud.
Yeah, man. And one thing I see with this team is, and I know I talked to you about this at the beginning of the season, 5 or 6 of your top 8 or 9 guys all play the same position. Kemba, Rose, Quigley, Fournier, Burks, Barrett, man, they all play the same position, which is really, really tough. And I like what Thibodeau has done with this team. I like that Barrett's more locked in defensively, but they haven't found out an identity, dude. Remember when the Eagles signed every free agent ever and everyone thought they were a super team? You got Mike Vick, you got Deshaun Jackson, you got Nnamdi Asamoah from the Raiders, dude. You're bringing in all this huge talent. They don't quite gel, man. Like Kemba, Rose, Quigley doesn't quite gel. Burks, Barrett, Fournier, all at the same position. It just doesn't quite gel, man. There needs to be some there definitely needs to be some roster movement in order to, unlock this team's full potential. But I love what Tibbs is doing with them. I really do. I'm just wondering, where does that identity come out? When does that happen?
And I trust Tibbs more than anyone in this position. That's why I'm listening into what he's saying about this team, and he's saying they're close, and I get it because he's not going to ask for a change out into the media, and he's not going to buy for a roster change. But I'm getting worried the more games I see, because like I said, like guys like Fournier, you locked him into 4 years and he looks lost out there. Like he doesn't know what his role is. The coaching staff hasn't communicated it or made it clear what his role is, because he doesn't know what he's doing out there. He's going to play 30 minutes a night, and then he's not going to play the fourth quarter. Obviously, he's not going to play the fourth quarter because he's ineffective. But let's go to the Celtics, man. I mean,
yeah. Hey, real quick, one last point on Fournier, $19.5 million a year. I am really happy that the Celtics didn't offer him that, dude. When I saw the money, I was like, I'm fine with it. I saw him balling out in the Olympics for France, and I was like, okay, maybe he's going to come in and go crazy. He did not. Way overpay, and that's a contract that has to be moved, I think, eventually to, free up, some more money and a roster spot for this team. I don't think Fournier is the guy.
That stinks, because you're saying that in year one.
Hey man, you never know what Tibbs can get out of these guys. Moving over to my Celtics, man, same record after 17. We're at 9-8. Not feeling great, but guess what? Jason Tatum's back, baby. He had a little slump, said it was one of the only slumps of his whole career. Said he never lost his confidence. 3 wins in a row, 31, 37, 34. Man, I got to tell you, I've just kept saying to everyone, let's just slow down, man. Let's slow down. Jaylen Brown's missed the last 9 games, okay? Rob Williams has been hurt. They haven't played the young guys who are our best shooters. They haven't got the confidence under Udoka. But you see what Dennis Schroeder has been doing. You see what Al Horford has been doing. Some of the best offseason transactions in the league, man. I mean, Horford looks like he's 28. He looks absolutely incredible. He's been everywhere on defense. I love what he's doing. Josh Richardson is slowly starting to fit into the team, and I think he's a really good mentor for guys like Neesmith and Langford and like those 3-and-D wings that are kind of coming up on the team. But I got to tell you, my biggest takeaway from the Celtics is that Dennis Schroeder needs to be starting when Jaylen Brown comes back. He needs to have Marcus Smart's starting role, because we don't have a guy on the team outside of Jaylen and Jason that can get to the hoop. Last year on the Lakers, LeBron was number 1 on the team at getting to the hoop. You know who number 2 was? Dennis Schroeder. This guy is so quick. He's so effective. And a lot of those shots that you think are going to get blocked from a smaller guard, he can put in and over people because he's so damn fast, so quick off the bounce. I love what Schroeder's doing. And for what, $5.2 million? Schroeder's one of the biggest bargain contracts in the league. So I think Udoka is finally figuring it out. It's more drive and kick than it has been all year. I like what he's done. The team doesn't complain to the refs. They're not bitching and moaning about calls. I really like what the Celtics are doing. And Tatum's finally coming into his own. Tatum's not looking to draw fouls anymore. He's looking to dunk on dudes. He's looking to get physical. He's looking to get a rebound, strong, turn, rip, and go the other way. So I like the development of all these guys. And the last thing I'll say, Connor, before I get your thoughts, Jason Tatum's 23. Jaylen Brown is 25. Man, I feel so good about having these two guys. I don't want to hear the people saying they can't play together. 23 and 25, and we got 2 young superstars, man. I love what the Celtics have. I'm not really stressing yet. 15, 20 more games sitting at 500, and I'll start stressing, but I like where we're at.
Yeah, I mean, 9-8, you said it all, and I really like what's going on with Schroeder. Schroeder has always been a crafty, nifty, fast player. He gives really a lot of ways of finishing around the rim, so you have to give him a lot of credit. He's been playing out of this world so far. And yeah, they definitely have a better trajectory going right now that Tatum has caught fire. They're on the right side of 9-8. We're on the wrong side of 9.
Yeah, 2 teams trending a little bit in different directions, man. But anything else you want to say on the season of the Knicks before we move on to these listener questions?
Nah, man. I just hope it gets better. We'll get into it as hopefully the trade deadline progresses and we figure out where we are as a team, because they're at that not 40, because that's halfway through the season. That 30 game point these problems persist, I'm going to be a little bit worried.
Hey, I will tell you though, MSG looks like it's rocking, bro. Knicks fans look like they're back. I love the vibe, man. MSG looks like the place to be again. It wasn't the stadium to be at for a couple of years, but MSG looks like it's back to being the Mecca.
That's what I'm saying. These fans have been dying for a winner.
Yeah.
And I was just telling my girlfriend this the other day, like our expectations are huge. Just want to win a playoff series.
Yeah.
Is that a lot?
Is that too much to ask? Oh man, hey, you know what? Knicks are in a better place than they've been in a while. So, both the Celtics and the Knicks, a lot to look forward to, man. So let's get on to these listener questions, Connor, man. We'll run through these quick. I appreciate it's already been over an hour, so I appreciate you taking the time to be on here with me, man. It's been a lot of fun. So let's get into these questions, man. First one from Brett. Are we still hating on Captain Kirk now that the Vikings might make the postseason? Personally, yes. I do not believe in Kirk Cousins. I think he's one of the biggest overpays in football. I get that he was the first quarterback since Peyton Manning to be a free agent and go out and get some money because quarterbacks don't end up being free agents a lot of the times. But man, I am just not on the Kirk Cousins train at all. Tell me the Vikings wouldn't have the same record if Jimmy Garoppolo, Mac Jones, or any of these other just B plus guys were in there. Kirk isn't the reason they're winning, man.
Absolutely. I'm not a big Kirk Cousins hater, but I don't like him a lot at all. And they made the postseason last year and won a playoff game, and I still hated him. I still will.
I'm with you there, man. Joe Braverman, is there a clear-cut Super Bowl favorite this year? I don't think so. You can look at the Cardinals at 9-2, but I don't think they're a Super Bowl favorite in the NFC. I think the Bucs, the Cowboys, the Packers all have a fair shout there too. And the AFC is as wide open as it's ever been. I don't see a clear Super Bowl favorite at all.
I don't either. I think there's a lot of parity, which is what I like. We all thought the Bucs to start the year, but we're seeing now that, there's a lot of teams that could get in there.
I absolutely agree. Great question from Jimmy McQuaid here. Do you think the NFL will ever get rid of the Lions on Thanksgiving Day? No?
I don't think so. I mean, I would have done it years ago.
Yeah, where's the unwritten rule that the Lions and Cowboys get Thanksgiving games every year, man? Because quite frankly, if I'm at home on Thanksgiving with my family, I should have some better viewing than the Lions. I really should.
I asked this question a lot, and I kind of got a weird answer from searching the internet, but I guess the legend goes, because I'm not sure if this is fact, that back in the day when they first came up with the Thanksgiving game, no owner wanted to do it. And Dallas and Detroit were the two first teams to volunteer. And so since that day, they always ask Detroit and Dallas first before they ask any team.
So they're just grandfathered in.
Exactly. They're grandfathered in.
That's funny, man. But I'm with you. I don't think they'll ever get rid of them. And maybe they won't just because it's part of the old boys club, right? Sounds like they're in for a while.
That's insane. So
question from my brother, Nick, Mr. Book Thinker himself. Are you watching Man in the Arena, the new 10-part Brady special? He said, does Brady's early day remind you of Mac Jones? I haven't started watching it yet. I'm going to watch it when it's all out, I'm sure. I always think it's funny when documentaries come out while the player's still active, like Brady. But of course, Brady's out there. He's an entrepreneur. He's making that money. But I think when you look at 2001, when you look at 2002, and you look at those game management Tom Brady games where he throws 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, strong power running game, great defense, man, it's unfair to Mac, but it's very easy to see the similarities to young Brady and Mac Jones right now.
Yeah, I haven't watched it. I will tune in when it's all complete and out there for me to absorb. And like you said, I'm not a fan of the documentary thing while someone's still active. I've always, as much as I don't like Brady, I've always said the documentary that will come out when he's done, when he's hung it up, when he's ready to like give the interview and give the tell-alls, that's gonna be special. It's gonna be special. It's gonna be
better than The Last Dance.
Oh, it's gonna outdo it by far. And does Brady early days remind you of Mac? No doubt. I said that before. I said that after week 1, week 2, that I personally hate myself because Tom Brady has been reincarnated into a 23-year-old Mac Jones.
Yeah, man. And I mean, especially when you look at the combine pictures of the dad bods next to each other, it's hard not to see the similarities, you know?
It's insane. I thought I was done when Brady left. Nope.
We're back. Just like we never left, baby. All right. Next one. Brett, he must have known you were coming on here, man. Did the Knicks make a huge mistake by signing Kemba? His fourth quarter stats are brutal. What do you think there, Connor?
Listen, well, we got Kemba on the cheap. I think those full court stats are brutal, but he's not playing those key minutes. So, it kind of is what it is. He kind of has to figure out that role for himself, I feel like. I'm not worried about Kemba. I think he'll be fine. We're not asking him to be the superstar Kemba. I think the problem is more Fournier than Kemba, because you gave Fournier the money. You're expecting him to be not a stud, but you're expecting at least 15 points a night out of him. And he can't do that.
Yeah. Hey, as a Celtics fan, I know we only gave up 2 seconds for him, but he was averaging 19.8 a game for Orlando and then came in and bummed it up for us, man. So I can relate to you there. I don't think it was a mistake signing Kemba. Dude's on a 2-year, $15 or $16 million deal. Kemba for $8 million. I'll take that all day, any day, man. I'd take that on the Celtics right now. So I don't think it was a mistake. Question from Nick Latchney. I mean, he didn't know the suspension out here yet, but he said 50-game suspension for LeBron. Is that too light? Latch, shut up, man. Shut up. Come on. I know you hate LeBron, but this is too much, man. This is too much.
Oh, my God. I can't believe – credit to you for still airing out the question. That's wild.
Hey, man, if I don't read them out, who knows if they'll submit them again? You know what I'm saying?
That's awesome.
Hey, question from Brett. When is it time to trade Karl Anthony-Towns if you're the Minnesota Timberwolves?
Brett, this is a great question because no one likes to follow Minnesota, but I've been following Minnesota because they got some exciting guys. Well, been a huge D'Angelo Russell, Ohio State, obviously.
Yes, sir.
And they got Edwards. Edwards is such a fun player. He's
special.
He's special. He's so fun to watch. You could trade Towns yesterday.
Yeah.
It's time. I know he's got some deep roots and deep ties, and he's done a lot for the Minnesota community, but he's not getting along with his teammates, and you can tell, and it shows, and doesn't want to be there.
Yeah, I think it's about time. I think Cat would do good with a fresh start, different situation, different front office, coaching staff, all the above. But I got to tell you, it's also because it's time to go all in and build around Ant. Man, Anthony Edwards in his second year right now looks like Jaylen Brown in his fourth year. Like, he looks so good, so athletic for being 6'7", so physical, man. Step back threes, dunking on heads, man. I absolutely love Anthony Edwards. And for that reason, man, I think it's about time for Cat to pack his bags and move on. And I think he could flourish in another situation. I really do. But I don't think Minnesota is that situation. This guy's a walking 25-12. It's not like he can't play.
Oh, he can absolutely play, but it's crazy. Minnesota's had 3 cracks at the number 1 overall pick, and their home run is Edwards.
Yeah, we hope so, man. We hope so. Joe Braverman, will the MLB go into a lockout before 2022? I don't know, man. I know there's been a lot of rumors about this. I'm hoping the MLB doesn't go into a lockout, but if there's any sport where I'm okay with them heading into a lockout, it's probably the MLB. I know there's a lot to figure out with their CBA and everything, but I don't know. I don't really see the MLB going into full lockout mode. Maybe there's a small one. Maybe there's a couple week difference in the schedule, but I don't see a full lockout from the MLB.
I don't either. I mean, there might be some missed time. We'll see, but I don't think we'll miss a full season.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And then last question from Jimmy McQuaid, Connor, best Thanksgiving food, man. What's the best Thanksgiving food?
Oh, I'm a big meat guy, so I'll go with the turkey and the ham all day long.
Hey, I'm more of a ham than a turkey guy, but I'm gonna go straight to dessert. I'm gonna go apple pie, man, or chocolate pudding pie. That's where I live good on Thanksgiving, man. That's where I indulge.
Can't go wrong there.
All right, man, I'm going to get this little quick add in from Book Thinkers before we get on to what we've learned. So I'll just run through this quick. But if you read personal development books, please check out Book Thinkers. This is a company that's dedicated to helping you fulfill your life through books all day. And every single day on Instagram, every week on their podcast, the team over at Book Thinkers is helping you discover new books and new mentors that you can use to achieve more and live better. So please find the right book by going over to Instagram, typing in Book Thinkers, or going to www.bookthinkers.com. Now, Connor, we're going to get on to what we've learned, man. Did you figure out what you want to do for this little segment, or you want me to go first?
You can go first.
All right, man. So what I learned this week, I just want to share this story, man. Jose Mourinho won, coach of AS Roma, one of the best coaches ever. He put in an 18-year-old kid into this game. Very big game, 70th minute, 0-0. And he said, if you go and score, I will buy you those $1,000 pair of shoes that you've been talking about. This kid's been wanting them. So he puts in this 18-year-old kid from Ghana, Felix Afenya-Gayan, and he goes and scores 2 goals, man. He goes in, he wins the game. He's 18, destroys a bunch of men. Kid was incredible. And the coach goes out and buys him that $1,000 pair of shoes that the kid can't afford after the game, man. So I just want to shout Jose Mourinho out because I thought he won this week because of that, man. It was a real cool story that I felt like I had to share.
That is a fantastic story. One cool thing I learned this week, I was going to say it has something to do with college basketball, but it's more college football. I guess it's more of a life lesson. Is take care of the opponents in front of you, and the rest will figure itself out. A lot of teams I've seen a lot of complaints from a lot of teams. And it's like, oh, what if this? What if this? What if that? Take care of the schedule in front of you. Take care of the obstacles you have in front of you. Don't worry about anyone else, and the rest will figure itself out. We're seeing that right now with the best teams.
I think that's really well said, man. And that goes way beyond sports, which I like that you come in and give a little life lesson, a little wisdom on the pod, man. We need some more of that. So I appreciate that. Now, Connor, to round out the show, man, before we wrap it up, just do a little wrap up of each of our teams, man. So my Patriots, I'm feeling good. Number 1 in the AFC East, sole possession. If we get another win and make it 6 in a row, we might be the number 1 seed in the AFC. So I feel great there. For the C's, man, I feel great because Tatum's back. And if JB can come back from this injury and fit back in seamlessly, I think the Celtics are golden. I think they are one of the top couple teams in the East, maybe the 3rd best, just behind the Nets and the Bucks. I have really high hopes for the C's team. The Red Sox went and exercised their option for Alex Cora, so we got him for 2 more years, which I absolutely love. Somehow the dude cheats, wins the World Series, takes a year vacation and goes back to the Puerto Rico, takes a year vacation, goes home and comes back, gets his job back, man. I absolutely love this guy. I'm pumped he's back. I love Alex Cora. My New England Revolution, I'm pumped to go to the games, man. We're hosting the Golden Boot winner in Castellanos and NYCFC, but I'm going to the Revs game on Tuesday. I cannot wait. Like I said, we got some playoff tailgating coming up, man. So it's about to be a party. Liverpool over the weekend beat Arsenal 4-0. Absolutely great win. And then Duke, I've been hyping this game up for a couple of weeks, Connor, because Duke is 5-0 and they haven't played much good competition. But they're playing Gonzaga on the 26th, man, day after Thanksgiving, which I couldn't be more excited for. You're going to see why Paulo Banchero is the number 1 pick and not Chet Holmgren. And I got to love, too, there's a huge controversy around this Duke team with Kay's grandson and Banchero. Goes away like that. Couldn't care less after a day. It's gone. Coach K took care of it, paid some people off, whatever it was. All the controversy's gone, man. So I'm feeling good about Duke right now.
That's so funny. I'm waiting for that game too. It's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, man. As a college basketball fan, I don't know who's not excited to watch that game. Everyone's gonna be tuning in there. And then Connor, man, you want to do a little wrap up of your teams? I don't know.
We'll wrap it up real quick. So the Jets stink. So we're 2-8. We're looking forward to Zach Wilson coming back. If he shows that he's a decent quarterback, these next 7 games, we'll take that as a win. Honestly, the Knicks trending in the wrong direction. Gotta right the ship a little bit. Maybe shake up the roster. Maybe just start playing better. Yankees, there's a lot of things flying around in terms of rumor wise.
So many rumors.
A lot. I'll just say that they need a shortstop that can play baseball, and they need pitching. That's all I'll say on that end. Let's skip the NHL team, go straight to Ohio State football wise. Biggest games are coming up. Can't wait, obviously. Michigan's going to be huge. Basketball. We just got upset by friggin', oh my God, Xavier.
Yeah.
Battle of the Ohio's. That was terrible, but I had a feeling it was coming because we played another Ohio team the first game of the year and won by a point. And we were 16-point favorites. So I'm worried about the basketball team. Not gonna lie, same problems as last year. That made us lose as a 2 seed to Oral Roberts and Max Asmus. I haven't forgotten.
No one will forget that Oral Roberts, man. No one, because I mean that is quite the blemish. But hey, as a Duke fan that has lost to Norfolk State and Kylo Quinn, man, I can empathize with you there.
Jesus. Oh my, I remember that. You're right.
All right, man. Hey, Connor, I appreciate you coming on to guest host this episode, man. It was a lot of fun. Got about an hour 20 in. So, good, fun podcast. Hopefully people can listen to it over a little Thanksgiving break. And I got to tell you, I appreciate every single listen out there, every comment, follow, like, subscribe, whatever button you guys can hit on any of those socials, on any of those podcast apps. I'm sure it helps me in one way or another. I do not take your time for granted. I appreciate you spending this hour and a half with Connor and I, or whatever it is. And Connor, man, I appreciate you coming on here, man. It's always a blast talking sports with you, dude. I appreciate you coming on and giving a little different perspective, man. It's always a blast getting to talk sports with you, dude.
I always have a pleasure. It's always a fun time on here. And if anyone's listening right now that hasn't liked or subscribed, that's crazy, because this is what you should be listening to every week. This is where the good stuff is at. You're going to get good content from someone who's very knowledgeable. I am lucky enough that Chandler invites me on to have a platform to speak on it.
Hey, Connor, I appreciate the kind words, man. I don't know if you want to plug any socials, tell people to follow you, anything you got going on, or if you just want to round this thing out.
I'm all good on that, and I'm trying to lean off the socials a little bit, trying to establish a professional profile a little bit. So I'll just tell everyone to stay safe, have a good Thanksgiving, and just take care of your mentals.
Man, that's a great spot to end it. Take care of your mentals. Find some time for a little purposeful silence out there. Go get outside, enjoy some fresh air. And that's episode 48, y'all. Appreciate you guys.
You are listening to Right Off the Bus.